In other news, Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has published a government gazette proposing amendments on the private security industry regulations aimed at tightening firearm and weapons security. Some of the amendments, the proposals at least, include annual physical and psychological evaluations for security personnel, tracking devices on all firearms used by companies, and restrictions on the amount of ammunition allowed. But some experts have criticized these proposals, saying that they are unrealistic and will have high cost implications. Let's bring in the Executive Director of Gun Free South Africa, Dr. Stanley Maphosa. Thank you so much for your time and your patience as you waited for us to come to you. We really do appreciate it. I mean, on paper, these amendments sound like they are very good. You know, the annual physical and psychological evaluations, tracking devices on all firearms, and restrictions on semi-automatic rifles. What do you make of them?
Thank you very much, Michelle, and the listeners of Newzroom Afrika, and for the opportunity to speak to you on the last day of the submission to these regulations. Gun Free South Africa supports the amendment. You know, for the past 30 years, we have just spoken about this, and we feel vindicated that, you know, the violence and the gun issues are a problem in South Africa. For example, 33 people are shot and killed in this country daily. Shocking statistics that is taking us to the 90s. In simple terms, about 2 combis full of people are shot and killed every day. A full classroom of children is shot and killed every day in the country. And as you have indicated, for us, these regulations really address these 3 problems of firearm stockpiling and the absence of a working central firearm registry, which ensures that the authorities know where the guns are. Secondly, the infiltration of the private security industry by rogue elements and criminals that no one has disputed so far. And thirdly, the diversion of firearms from the pool of the legal to the pool of the illegal. And we really agree that this should be solved now, and political will is important. We will see after the submissions are made and the consolidation and everything and the discussions, how the implementation of these regulations will go.
How so, Dr. Maphosa? How will these amendments take us back when they really do sound like they are needed in a country that is so plagued by gun violence?
Well, I'm saying if they are not implemented, if we maintain the status quo, we'll go back to the 90s. But if they are implemented, they will really change this this sector. This private security sector is big. It's lucrative. It has got, you know, police are less than the private securities by 4 times. The private security industry is 4 times larger than SAPS. For example, we're sitting at about 600,000 plus versus 150 plus police, and this is huge. But the same kind of industry is losing 5 guns every day versus the police that are losing 2 guns every day. And our question is, where do these guns go to? Who is supplying the guns to the criminals? So if they are lost, they land in the hands of the criminals. And the criminals are benefiting from the private sector, private security losses. Some of these guns are lost by accident, we understand. But some are really given to the criminals by these rogue elements that we are talking about.
I suppose that's where the amendment around mandatory tracking devices for all firearms will come in handy. Just that last point you made about the number of firearms that are lost, not only by the SAPS, but by private security firms.
Definitely. You know, the amendments propose 4 things that I'll run through quickly. Number 1 is ensuring that there is comprehensive record keeping and reporting. Those reports that are needed are meant for accountability and traceability. Who is with the gun? how do they use it, and records. All of us keep records in any environment, so private security must keep records. The second thing is establishing the limits of the type of guns that can be used for specific security functions. The third one is installing devices that will track the weapons that are used, so as to prevent the diversion. But fourthly and lastly, to prohibit firearms in crowded environments like malls, like churches, like entertainment areas, to prevent shootouts, crossfire, thefts of those guns, because the private security industry is targeted by the criminals when they have guns that the criminals are looking for. So if they are going around hanging them in the public, they are calling for the criminals to target them.
Yeah, I suppose it's a difficult balancing act, isn't it? Because the risk is that what these amendments could result in is that security teams are under-resourced and are at more of a risk in doing their jobs.
My reading of the regulations do not say that. They are saying that let us regulate and ensure that these security details have the right arms at the right time. Mm-hmm. And secondly, they don't just hang them around in the public space. For example, if we're seated in the restaurant and we're eating, and here comes a very important person, and the person says, all of you out, and we see guns being displayed in the public space, it brings fear and intimidation. We feel unsafe in the public space, when those are... The law is clear that if you've got a weapon, hide it. Why then do you keep it in the public, a huge machine gun, guarding just one person because they are important?
No, absolutely. Let me thank you for your time, Dr. Maphosa. He's the Executive Director of Gun Free South Africa, and we're discussing the published proposed amendments, the government gazetted amendments to the private security industry regulations aimed at tightening the ownership of firearms and ammunition. We'll continue to track that story for you.